GPT 5.1 is here. It is faster, it is more accurate, it is more conversational, and apparently it has a better personality. Let me break it all down for you. So there are two main versions getting updated. We have 5.1 Instant and 5.1 Thinking. The Instant is the one that's supposed to give you answers instantly and things like questions and answers, things like conversational use cases. And now it has a quote unquote better personality. It is warmer, it is more intelligent, and better at following your instructions. And one of the biggest issues with GPT-5 Thinking was previously it would just spend so much time thinking about problems that didn't really require all that much thinking, and they have apparently solved that issue. One of the big pieces of feedback from the GPT-5 launch was it was basically pretty boring to talk to, and people missed GPT-4o. If you remember, there was some blowback about them retiring GPT-4o because people really liked that model. They liked the personality, and so they realized, oh, people actually like the tone, the cadence, and how the model speaks to them, and we need to build in more personality into the next version of GPT-5, GPT 5.1. They are also making it easier to shape ChatGPT's personality. And I really hope they allow me to get rid of M dashes, because no matter what I do, whether it's say, don't use M dashes in the system instructions, adding it to ChatGPT's memory, no matter what I do, it still uses M dashes. Let's see if it still does that later in the video. So let me show you a couple examples of the differences between 5.0 and 5.1. Here we go. I'm feeling stressed and could use some relaxation tips. This is more of a conversational prompt, and thus I would expect a more conversational model back. So GPT-5, here are a few simple, effective ways to help ease stress. M dash, you can mix and match depending on how you're feeling and how much time you have. A very formal response, a very bland response, although it is extremely accurate and a good answer. Sometimes you want more from your model. You want it to talk to you like maybe it's somebody you know. And so here we go. I've got you, Ron. That's totally normal, especially with everything you've got going on lately. So it references memory. It kind of speaks more conversationally to you, like what a text message from a friend or family member might sound like. It does still use M dashes, but all right, we'll put that aside for now. And here's an example of instruction following. This is really where I hope it's going to listen to me about not using M dashes. So always respond with 6 words. Understood, all responses will be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where should I travel this summer? And GPT-5, how about exploring Japan this summer? It's trending for summer 2025 destinations, and obviously much more than 6 words. Now, 5.1 Instant, understood, I will respond in 6. Consider Japan, Italy, Greece, Canada, Iceland. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why there? Scenery, culture, cuisine, climate, friendly locals. Boom. 6 again. And so it is much better at following directions. Now, here's an interesting change to 5.1. For the first time, GPT 5.1 Instant can use adaptive reasoning to decide when to think before responding to more challenging questions, resulting in more thorough and accurate answers while still responding quickly. And this is reflected in significant improvements on math and coding evaluations like AIME 2025 and Code Forces. So let's look at the benchmarks. GPT 5.1 is now better at calibrating its thinking time based on your question. Remember, GPT-5 is all about having a kind of singular model that can handle the most basic all the way up to the most complex prompts. And it does so by figuring out which model to send it to. And it does so by routing your prompt to the right type of model, the instant versus the thinking. Now, here's a really interesting chart. Now, you can kind of think of this x-axis on the bottom as the difficulty of the question. So at the bottom 10th percentile, we have the easy questions, and at the top 90th percentile, we have the tough questions. Now, the lighter pink is GPT-5 standard, and the darker pink, I don't know why they chose these two colors, but GPT 5.1 standard. And as you can see, for the easy questions, it is thinking much less for those quick answers. Same here. For the 50th percentile, on the average question, it's thinking about the same, which it should. But as we get to more difficult questions, it is thinking much longer. So it is hopefully much more accurately calibrating its thinking time to what you need. And Box ran their own benchmarks against the brand new GPT 5.1 for developers, and they saw massive improvements in enterprise use cases. So thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Let me show you some of those results. GPT 5.1 achieves significantly lower latency across all enterprise document tasks. Specifically for short documents, GPT 5.1 reduces TTFT, time to first token, from 27.7 to 4.4 seconds. That is a massive 84% improvement. On long documents with simple queries, 45.6 to 16.7 seconds. For more difficult queries on long documents, 19.3 to 9.1 seconds. And long documents multi-turn queries, 10.2 to 5.4 seconds. And 5.1 demonstrates superior accuracy in document extraction scenarios. For tabular data, think Excel, CSV, 44% to 71%. Multi-field extraction, 70 to 83%. Handwriting recognition, 38 to 42, small but still noticeable. And for long documents, a small 83 to 84% bump. And so these improvements from 5 to 5.1 are extremely meaningful for enterprise use cases. So if you're not already using Box, try them out. Join 100,000 other customers, 2/3 of the Fortune 500 using Box.com. So GPT 5.1 Instant Thinking begin rolling out today, starting with paid users, Pro, Plus, Go, and Business, and then the free and logged out users. Enterprise and EDU plans get a 7-day early access toggle off by default. After that window, GPT 5.1 will become the sole default model. Now, apparently the model is also much better at coding, but I'm going to get to that in a moment. Let me finish up with a few additional things that you get with 5.1. So earlier this year, OpenAI released the ability to customize ChatGPT's style and tone. And now they've refined those to more accurately represent what people actually want and use. So default, friendly, efficient are the existing ones, and new, we get professional, candid, and quirky. They're also experimenting with the ability to tune ChatGPT's characteristics directly from the personalization settings. All right, so I popped open ChatGPT and there it is, ChatGPT 5.1. Let's see if it still writes M dashes when I tell it not to. So I'm going to tell it, remember to never use M dashes, and that should be stored as a memory. So I'm just going to hit enter. There it is, updated, saved memory, and got it. So write an email for me that asks for feedback on my project. Okay. Pretty good, no M dashes. So write a summary of the ChatGPT 5.1 release, make it into a tweet that I can post. And unfortunately, there are M dashes. There is nothing I can do to get rid of those M dashes, and it is so frustrating. And by the way, if you want to find out how to get the most out of GPT 5.1, check out the Subtle Art of Not Getting Replaced ebook. It is completely free, created by my team. Download it now. There's 100+ use cases that you can use AI for right now. Go download it by subscribing to our newsletter, link down below. And they've also released 5.1 in the API platform. So remember, you get all of these updates. You get the speed updates, you get the accuracy updates, you have more efficient use of tokens depending on the task at hand, all available to developers now. They are also extending prompt caching for up to 24 hours. And you can even set the model to not think at all by setting reasoning effort to none. They also mentioned in the blog post that GPT 5.1 is better at coding, especially front-end coding. Now, of course, we all want back-end coding to get better, but front-end coding, the actual look and feel of what you're building, is also very important. So look at this benchmark. We have SweBench verified. GPT-5 reaches right here, high, thinking tokens 10,000, accuracy 73%. Now 5.1 can extend its thinking all the way to 18,000 tokens, 76%. So again, more thinking, higher results. So go ahead, try it out. If you're a developer, build on top of it. So that's it. Try it out. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.